All right, YouTube, staying along these lines of electric bikes, and this one's definitely RV friendly, more than the other ones, more than the big cruisers. This is a folding one, and it's in direct competition with some of the other ones that are out on the market already. We've actually done a review on one just recently that reminds me of this one quite a bit. This is a global release. This is a new unit for this company. The company's DYU, and the model is an FF500.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
All right, so DYU, company that has quite a few different offerings. This one here is their global release of a folding bike, and of course smaller footprint, being able to go into an RV a little bit easier. And this one I would say is a grocery getter. This is one that lets you run your errands, so it cuts the weight down as far as you folding it up and making it work. It's kind of difficult whenever they're a little bit bigger and heavier. We did a review on one that was actually weighed out to 100 pounds, and I'm going to tell you that was a handful. So this one here, 48 volt 14 amp hour battery, a little bit on the standard side. I've had them as low as 10 amp hour, so it's good that it's gone up to 14 amp hour. Front and rear disc brakes, not hydraulic, again cutting down the features as far as the weight, makes it a little bit easier. It is foldable, again 500 watt motor, which, believe it or not, with a 14 amp hour battery you could probably get quite a distance with that 500 watt motor, being that it's a smaller motor, smaller demand, so it'll last longer or ask less of that battery. And then of course you have 3 riding speeds, so there's going to be 3 pedal assist basically. Battery obviously has a battery management system in it. It does have, however, not skimping in some of this stuff, it has a shock absorbing system, not only in the front, like a normal spring strut assist on the front, but it also has a spring loaded seat. Now we've run into those in the past with that small little folding bike that we had, and I have to say it made a difference, believe it or not. Good gear shift selector as far as being a Shimano. It's an entry level piece, and overall this is one of those bikes that I call it the go and throw, or throw and go. It's one of those that you go, do what you want, come back, fold it up, and throw it in your RV or in the back of your truck or in the back of your car, and just go that way too. So let's open it up, show you what it looks like. I think I got a blue one. That'll be nice. All right, just like we always do, show you the packaging, what it looks like. Of course, these are coming from China, initially. Then they go into a warehouse in the US. Looks like this one made its way quite nicely. They're getting really smart with their packaging. This is something that you need to recycle. There's quite a bit of foam that's coming with these, but you have to protect this. We've seen these before, these fender accents. I kind of like it. It's a plastic fender, not a bad thing. Keeps down on weight, also keeps down on noise. The metal ones have a tendency to rattle, so the fact that these are plastic might be a good thing. Heidi's pulling that apart, so she thinks. I don't know. We just gotta take it off there. So regular clamp seat post, box of toys. Looks like there's another box in here. We'll have to see what that is. This is the other fender, and then of course the folding mechanism for the handlebars. Yeah, this looks pretty straightforward. We'll go ahead and start taking it apart a little bit further, putting it together, but first we got to tear the box apart. All right, so out of the box with some of the packaging taken off, I want to kind of show you what it looks like. A lot of people don't know what these things look like when they come in, because some people are buying them from stores, which I don't necessarily recommend unless you're just not handy and you don't know how to assemble stuff. Maybe at that point. But you can see it is a folding, and the post is down for the handlebars. So we got to mount the fender on here. We got to put the front tire on, and then the seat, which is really cool. Stay tuned for the seat. That's going to be pretty awesome. It's a little different. I don't know how well it's going to work, so we're going to try it out. But yeah, this is what you get. This is basically the little folding piece before it's all assembled, and then we can show you what it looks like fully assembled, and then of course in its folded position too. Take it out for a ride, see what it's like. Heidi's got a comment on the color because I don't know.
They consider it blue. I think there's only 2 colors, right? Black and blue. I'm pretty sure, according to the box. But it is more like a powder coat blue.
Yeah, it's not metallic or shiny. It's flat. It's matte.
Yeah, like a blue
Pastel.
denim.
Oh yeah, I guess to me it kind of
Yeah.
looks like jeans.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's the color. Okay, I neglected to show the other stuff that came with the unit. You do have a reflector that goes on the front. I rarely put these on because I want to have all the room I can on there for auxiliary lights. Even though these lights are pretty good, and they do a pretty good job inside the campground, I like to have auxiliary lights when we're outside the campground. So we have folding pedals, pretty standard. These are plastic. I think almost all of mine have been plastic, and they're kind of unique the way they fold. They do include like a real screwdriver, chrome vanadium wrenches, a few sizes, and then you also have wrenches, real wrenches. The accents on the fender I talked about. This is a 2-amp charger, and then the seat, again, awesome, has an air pump, and then the spring. This is loaded. This is an air shock. And then there's also some coil springs that are inside these encapsulated areas here. They're just kind of like plastic springs, basically. They're not real springs, but they do help with the load of my big butt being on there. Okay, so here it is all assembled, just like the Hofsco. I don't know if you guys watched that video that we had of the Hofsco, but there's so many similarities here. It's more alike than not alike. So your battery loads from the top here. That key will release it, and you can charge it out of the bike or in the bike. If it's in the bike, you're going to go through this port here. Looking at the display here, pretty simple, straightforward. There's only a few settings that you can set up. Turning on the light, and of course your pedal assist. You just have 3 settings in the pedal assist. Don't worry, you still get full pedal assist on number 3. It's just there's less adjustments, and there's a lot of people that like it that way. It's, some of these bikes get really confusing with all the stuff that they do. It does have a pretty decent headlight on it. However, I'm going to tell you definitely, without a doubt, you need to go and get auxiliary lighting for safety reasons, and it has nothing to do with the light on the front. Light on the front would help you get down the sidewalks whenever it's dark. It's because there's only a reflector in the back. There's not a brake light, there's not a tail light. So it's a good idea that you do that anyway, so you have something flashing back there. Make sure you buy a good quality one. If I'm not mistaken, in our store on Amazon, you can go to the link that's in the description that's below the link for this, and it'll show you everything that you need to see there. The fit and finish is really well. The welds are nice. Everything looks really good. The shocks on the front, pretty decent, not bad at all. I went ahead and put the highest compression I can on there because, again, my big butt. And this supports me just fine. I'll have to say, though, even though this is a smaller bike and easier to fold, a little bit more compact, it is a little bit harder for Heidi. She can't really ride this too comfortably. She has to step off to use the step through because the built-in shock that's in the seat doesn't allow it to go any lower than what you see right here. This is a 7-speed Shimano. This is the tourney. This is the entry level set. Tires again, Shaoyang. We've seen those before. I think almost positive they're on the Hofsco. And the 500 watt motor. It's just a in-house brand or a brand that is, it's a sourced brand. It's not a Bafang. It's not a name brand necessarily, but it doesn't mean that it's not a good unit. So what you want to do is check out for their warranty. Make sure that it covers anything that you have that might be an issue. I'm going to show you the pedals. They're a little bit different than what we dealt with before. They have just a trigger in here, and then you just fold them up. Nice, out of the way. They lock into place. Very solid feeling. Again, everything looks really decent on this. Oh, the grips are probably the best that we've seen as far as if it's wet out. I mean, they actually have tread on them, and they're easily pliable. They're soft. Now, I don't know longevity, how that's going to work. Got a bell. Everything's at nice, easy reach. Here's your throttle. And disc brakes that are cable activated. So we're going to take this out for a ride and see what it's like. And then we'll come back and we'll fold it up and show you what it looks like.
Well, I like the look of the bike. It's way too tall for me.
Yeah, you could tell it's too tall. However, I think if we put a regular seat post on there without that shock, you would definitely be able to ride it.
I love the color, though.
How about how nimble it feels?
Yeah, it is. It's just that I sit up way too high.
What about the acceleration and the speed?
Good. It's very good.
I know. Did you notice it picked up right away?
Yeah, and smooth. It's not jerky.
Yeah,
like some of them are.
Yeah, the Hofsco, which we're comparing directly with this because it kind of looks just like it. That Hofsco, boy, it'd take off on you. It'd almost throw you, put a wheelie on you. But yeah, good folding bike. Let's go ahead and put this thing together as far as folding, or I should say, put it together. How do you want to say that apart? But fold it up and let's see what it looks like. Okay, so this one, whenever you fold it up, you got to do a little bit differently than what you have with the other ones that we've had in the past, and that is the handlebars actually have to come out. And the reason being is whenever they're folding up in their flattest position, because the handlebars are wider than the ones we've had in the past, they hit this shock, which again, I think those shocks are actually wider than what we've had in the past too. So what I suggest is it's a quick release. There's no real problem with the adjustments on them to line them back up because this is notched. There's a notch in the bar to put the handlebars on. Just remove your handlebars. Then you have this small compact form, not very big at all. I'm going to show you what it looks like in the back of our car. All right, so in our case, we have a 2023 Kia Seltos. Because of Heidi being a little bit shorter than me and the way that I ride, the bigger fold down section, which should be the way that it folds down for this bike to be stored, has a car seat on it because Heidi has to have our grandson behind her because her seat's up far enough you don't kick the seat. This is a small car. It's a small SUV. However, if we had the seat switched over here and then this part folded down instead of this smaller section being folded down, we'd have a lot more room here. But you can still see it does fit in there, and it does close. So there's something to be said about these folding bikes and the amount of room that they take up. Just so you can get an idea again what it looks like on the other side of things. You can see his car seat in here. You can see boxes and stuff we got going on. But yeah, right here, not a big deal. Makes it to where it's able to keep your kid's seat in there if you have kids or grandchild like we do, and still be able to transport. So as we always tell you with all these bikes, if you want to help support the channel, the links are in the description down below. Go ahead and click that link. It'll take you right to this bike. Check the description to see if there's a discount. Usually we get a discount from these people whenever we set up any kind of a demonstration or a review on a bike. This one here, I believe they mentioned it, but you know, act now. It's one of those things that it may go away, and again, it'll all be down in the description.
As always, we hope to see you out there. Bye.
Bye.